So I gathered you here today because of the murder of Dr. Black. Colonel Mustard.
Focus on me. Focus on me.
Reverend Green.
Hello there. Pleasure to meet you.
Mrs. White.
Mr. White, thank you very much.
Sorry, Mr. White. Professor Plum.
Professor Plum, at your service.
Miss Scarlet.
Hiya, you alright?
Mrs. Peacock.
Hiya, alright?
As you know, Dr. Black was murdered in an unknown room with an unknown weapon by an unknown person. But after many questions, I have worked out who the murderer is. It was Professor Plum in the kitchen with the wrench.
You know something, Dr. Black? I've always liked you, which is why it's so heart-wrenching to have to make the decision to kill you.
We call it a spanner in England.
Okay, Professor Plum in the kitchen with the spanner.
Ah, Dr. Black, I see that you've uncovered my unorthodox research and plan to tell everybody about it. Well, let me be the one to throw a spanner in the works.
Oh no, it wasn't the spanner.
Okay, it was Professor Plum in the kitchen with the dagger.
Ah, Dr. Black, I may not be a doctor like you, but I'll have a good stab at it.
It wasn't the dagger either.
Okay, for my final guess, it was Professor Plum in the kitchen with the revolver.
You know something, Dr. Black? I've about had enough of you bossing me about. It's now time for me to call the shots. Wonderful good luck.
A gun? No, no, no. Actually, it wasn't even Professor Plum.
So why didn't you tell me that at the beginning? I give up. Hi there and welcome to Into the Box, and today's board game is Cluedo, also known as Clue in North America. This is a UK made game from 1949, and as you can see it was made by Waddington's. Here's the version I've got. It comes in lots of different boxes, so you've probably got this at home. Loads of people own this, they've played it. It's a classic game from all our childhoods. Now this isn't my original one. My original one was in like a green style box. I'll try and put a picture of it up so you can see that. But like I said, it was remade. It's been remade hundreds of times, and they've now called it the classic detective game, as there are lots of spin-off versions of Cluedo. The basic game here, so we've got the board. You can see that there. You are a suspect of a murder in the Black Mansion. Dr. Black has been killed, and your job is to try and uncover who of the 6 subjects did the murder, in which room it happened, and with what weapon. In the North American version, the victim is called Mr. Body. I think that's due to the reason of they don't want to be sounding racist, as if like killing Mr. Black is wrong. Also, that comes into play in 2016, where they've now re-released the Cluedo game, and they've taken away the Mrs. White character and replaced her with Dr. Orchid. Bit stupid, considering it's been around since 1949 and no one seemed to have had a problem with this, but they've changed it now to a pink character. So like I said, there's 6 characters in the game. You got Miss Scarlet, you got Mrs. Peacock, Colonel Mustard, which is everybody's favourite, Professor Plum, the Reverend Green, and, as this is the original one, Mrs. White. So you all start in different parts of the house, and then you roll the dice on the board and you move your characters, trying to get into the different rooms. At the start of the game, you are all dealt one of these packs of cards here. They're made up of the suspects, the rooms, and also the murder weapons. What happens is you shuffle up each of those different sets of cards and take one suspect, one room and one weapon, and you put it inside the envelope. That then goes into the middle of the board, and that's who you're trying to discover did the murder. You also get one of these sheets here, which is your detective notes, and this is where you tick off any cards which you get dealt and any cards you discover throughout the game. So the cards get dealt out to, the remaining cards get dealt out to all the players after being shuffled together, and you look at your cards and you tick off the ones you have in your hand. So then you move your characters into the different rooms, preferably a room which you haven't got in your hand, and once in there you can then ask another member of the party to come into the room, somebody who you suspect, along with a weapon which you think has been used. As you can see, we've got the revolver, the dagger or the knife, the lead piping, which apparently was actually made out of real lead in the original game, which they had to change out due to lead poisoning. We got the spanner, which is shown as a monkey wrench in the North American version. We got the rope, which I have the plastic one here, but in the original old school retro version it was an actual piece of rope. And we got the candlestick. So you call one of these items into the room with you and you ask, I think it was Mrs. White, in the ballroom with the candlestick. Now these are the things I believed were used to kill Dr. Black. And then the person to the left of you will look through their cards. If they have one of these items, they show you the one secretively so that the other players don't see it, and you can tick that off your list. You keep going through the game until you think you've got enough of the different things ticked off the list, and then you can make your final prediction. Once you do that, you take the cards from the centre of the table, you have a look at them yourself. If you've found the right cards, you've won the game. Otherwise you have to place them back in the middle and the game continues until somebody does find the right answers. Now this is a game for 3 to 6 players. It says it's aged about 8 to adult and lasts 45 minutes. This all depends on how much fun you're having with the game and how much talking you're doing. Also, it depends a lot on the age of the players playing the game. I find the younger players take longer to make decisions and that sort of thing. So this game has spawned lots of different spin-off games, lots of books. There's even been a movie called Clue, and there's even been a musical. And like I said, in 2016, Mrs. White got replaced by Dr. Orchid. By looking up on the BBC News, it actually said that the reason they'd done this was to try and mix up the characters a bit, and it actually says that Dr. Orchid was homeschooled by Mrs. White, and also that she was the adoptive daughter of Samuel Black. So, funnily enough, it does mention Samuel Black and also Mrs. White in Dr. Orchid's backstory, which is quite strange, considering the reasons that they've taken her out of the game. This is a very good all-time classic game. It's one of those games you can pull out at Christmas, or you can take out when your family come round, because like I said, nearly everybody's played this game and most people know what the rules are or have a vague idea of how you play it. So it's one of those games you can just put out, you can all sit around as a family, you can have 6 players playing at once, and like I said, it takes less than an hour to complete, and you can all have fun playing the game. It's not very technical, there's not a huge deal to the game, but that's the same with a lot of classic board games from like Waddington's and Hasbro. It's more family friendly. On Board Game Geek they give it 5.7 out of 10. I'd probably say it's more like a 7 or an 8. Not because, like I said, it's anything technical or mind-blowing, but just the fact that everybody can play it and you can all have a good time, and you can make it easy as hard as you want to, really. I mean, when you ask questions, you can make notes on what other people are asking other players. So you can play it quite technical, and you can throw in red herrings. You can ask questions about different weapons and rooms, even though you know you have the card. And so there is an element of making the game harder and to try and trick people while you're playing it. So yeah, that's Clue, or Cluedo, and it's a good game. I hope you like my new series, Into the Box. If you did, please put a thumb up, please leave a comment below, and why not share the video. Hopefully I plan to do another video soon, so I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.